the Capcom, oh man, the Capcom showcase was just, it was horrible. It was the worst thing ever. Capcom did not need to be there at all. Because they literally just showed everything we knew that was coming, and like didn't even show separate ways. I guess separate ways would show up. Did not. I thought they'd show Rashid in Street Fighter. They did not. They did show Street Fighter, but they're like, hey, it's out and you can play it too. Like, wow, Capcom, amazing. And Exoprimal, oh my gosh, that is, I think that game is in deep trouble. I don't think that game is going to do well at all. Like, I just bought Street Fighter. I'm not going to buy another, like, service, like, games as a service game that is $80 as well. Do I know Dead Rising? Of course I know Dead Rising. I was thinking about streaming them, but the problem with Dead Rising, like, the versions that, like, you can still buy, they are old, man. And, like, they run. What the heck is wrong with this game? Yeah, the versions that you can play, like, if you, like, Alt-Tab or, like, go to a different window, like, the game either, like, crashes or freezes or, like, the capture screws up. It's one of those. So, like, if you have, like, Dead Rising 2, like, open, and you're like, oh, hold on, let me just check this chat window, or let me open up Twitter, and, like, you Alt-Tab, and then you're like, oh, okay, well, there's nothing, and you open it back up, it, like, it stops capturing. It'll, like, be frozen. You have to restart, like, the whole game. So there's not really a great way to stream it. And I don't know if they've maybe patched it, but that was what it was like the last time I tried. And I'm kind of, I'm done with Dead Rising. I don't want a new one. The studio that made the best one doesn't even exist anymore. Capcom gave them, like, the worst lineup of, like, games to make. Well, it's not even that Capcom did it. It's just, like, I think all the good staff members left to go somewhere else. And then they're like, make Dead Rising 3, and it was, like, not as good. But, like, kind of sold because it was the only thing out for Xbox One. And they're like, well, make Dead Rising 4. And it was just horrible. They just ruined it. And then they were put on Puzzle Fighter duty, the mobile Puzzle Fighter, which it, like, was actually good. It was actually fun, but, like, obviously Capcom wanted that game to make a lot of money, and there was really no reason to spend money on the gacha system, because it was, like, it was PvP and it was 100%, like, skill based. So, like, spending money on, like, a skin, or, like, to get a better version of M. Bison, which you can earn just by playing the game. Which, in all honesty, was not a greedy game. But I think Capcom wanted it to be a little bit more greedy than it was. And they shut down the game, and then they shut down Capcom Vancouver. So I don't think we'll see another Dead Rising. It would have to be, like, internal at Capcom. Or they'd find another third-party studio, and I don't know if they'd be willing to do that, because the last time that happened, Yeah, I mean, there's so much Capcom. I don't expect Capcom Town to mention everything. Plus, like, I think there's maybe a little bit of internal tension with Dead Rising just because Inafune kind of had a hand in it. He's kind of become gaming's greatest villain. Unintentionally, but almost like self-reportedly. So I don't know. And maybe they just didn't want to put it in there just so people wouldn't ask for it. I doubt Power Stone's in Capcom Town. Like, it's so weird to launch like a browser-based thing in current year. We may die. We may live. Does this heal at all? Absolutely not. But yeah, that presentation, wow. Wow, wow, wow. Thank goodness I'm not a Capcom creator, because I would probably be kicked out. It was really bad. You know, usually these E3 presentations, you're looking for, you know, the big reveals. You know, something new, something coming, you know, next year or even further beyond. And there was one game they like teased, and I don't even remember them announcing it, but they announced that they're delaying it, and I didn't even know what the game was. I mean, Path of Goddess actually looks good. It looks like it's going to be a fun game. They showed a game that is new and it looks like okay. But like, that was it. And then one delay of a game I didn't even know existed. Guy and his robot daughter. What do you mean? And like, I'm not excited for Dragon's Dogma 2. I'm excited that people are excited for it, but I can't play Dragon's Dogma 1. I think it's the most boring game ever. As much as I like what's there, it's just so annoying to play. And they're like, the map is 4 times bigger, and I'm like, that doesn't sound like a good thing, Capcom. It sounds like a bad thing for me. And again, Exoprimal. That is the hardest sell of all time. A live service game. It costs $80 as a premium battle pass. It does have a single story campaign, so it does actually have probably, I would assume, $80 worth of content just in the single player. But it's co-op. And there ain't no way, it's like 4 or 5 players on a team. There ain't no way you're going to see a single person who's not in a sponsored stream with like 5 other or 4 other sponsored streamers playing that after like the initial launch. It's not going to happen. If it was free to play, probably more likely. But there's greed. There's greed in Capcom's eyes with this game. And I said, I think after Exoprimal launches and it bombs, and then Dragon's Dogma comes out and does probably okay, I think we're in for another dark age of Capcom where it's just like you're not going to see like any like creative stuff. I mean, we already don't see a lot of creative stuff. Like no more bundles, no definitely no Mega Man. We didn't even get I say we didn't get a whiff of Mega Man. They did announce like an offline version of their mobile game. Yay. Just what I wanted. A paid version of a free game. Like something's up with Capcom. I don't know what they're doing, but it is something ain't right. And I hope they take the like they learn from this stunt and how everyone's ripping into them as a, you know, learning as a lesson to learn from. Don't show up for E3 if you're just gonna show the same like junk. Like we already knew all of that was coming. It's so frustrating. That's why Capcom is so annoying to deal with sometimes. Like they've had such a great string of games since like Resident Evil 7, excluding Remake 3. Now, like it kind of was impossible for them to keep the ball rolling. But man, like, come on. Just a disappointment. And also worrying. What? See ya, Capcom. I hope, like, really, I hope there's stuff coming. So dumb. It was so dumb. And I get that, like, these, like, this non-E3 where every company can just stream their own, like, thing probably didn't cost them anything, really. So it was probably just, they were just making the best of the kind of time that it is right now. I should also mention I don't care about, like, Ace Attorney. Like, I know some people are gonna buy those in a heartbeat. Ghost Trick, which they already showed. In fact, I thought it was already out, the remake. Or not remake, but like re-release. You know, that's nice. But, you know, separate ways would have been nice to see. And I think they really are trying to sell people on Exoprimal. I think they know how hard of a sell it is, and I think they're really trying. Like, clearly, if you bought Street Fighter, there's a very slim chance you're probably going to buy Exoprimal. I think even if they went and called it, like, Dino Crisis, whatever, it would still be a tough sell, because unfortunately, I am a Dino Crisis detractor. I don't like the series. Admittedly, I've only played the first one, but I think it's just they're not great. So I don't know. I don't know what Capcom's gonna do, man. They've kind of shown their hand, and it's worrying. You know, I don't want to be worried about what Capcom's gonna do. I like their games. I like the games they have in their, like, catalog. But, like, they somehow just feel like out of touch. Like they're starting to slip out of touch. Like, it would have been a great time to announce a new Monster Hunter, which I actually thought was going to happen. But I don't know. Maybe they are trying to just find stuff that will work and not just be Resident Evil, Monster Hunter that make money. And Street Fighter. That is annoying. No good games. No good games so far. Just really bad ones. Yeah, that's all I have to really say about that. Yeah, let's try and make this not a get killed right away one. Try and actually get close to winning. Not get double teamed by, well, I guess 2 people. And or more. Nice to not be that guy. For at least one game. I did watch a bit of the Ubisoft stuff because I wanted to see what they actually showed. And, again, it was not worth it. They didn't even really show the Rayman DLC. They just kind of were like, here's Rayman. Here he is. He's really here. And, like, that was it. He, like, showed up and, like, looked at, like, Rabbid Peach and, like, made a face. Yay. Thanks. They just showed a ton of Assassin's Creed, which I don't care about, man. I don't care. And then they showed... people were talking about this Prince of Persia. And I actually like Prince of Persia. People were complaining that it was 2D. I think that's fine. Like, Prince of Persia, like, kind of has its origins in being 2D. So I think it's fine. And I mean, it looks pseudo, like, Metroidvania-like. But apparently they announced a remake of the first one, and it's not coming out until after this new one. So people are kind of not happy that they're getting a game that debatably looks worse than a game they're already expecting to get. Which is weird. But I also don't care about Ubisoft games. You know, an Atlas showed Persona 3, which looks really good. But I didn't play Persona 3. I started with Persona 4. But they've already said, like, it does not have the, like, extra content from the re-release of Persona 3, which people are upset about. And it kind of looks like they're doing a weird, like, they're treating this like it's, like a new standalone title. You know, like it's a Persona 5. Like, this is essentially Persona 6. So what I think we'll see is... Get out of here, Miles. So what I think we'll see is, like, hey, we'll have the new version of Persona 3. And then, like, in a year or two, we'll get Persona 3, like, with the extra content. They'll be like, look, here's a second game. I think that's what may happen. Because it's very strange to release a game that has already had, like, more content added to it and then re-release it with, I'm going to say air quotes, less content. I'm going to assume, I'm giving them the benefit of the doubt, that it's not technically less content, but it's going to be, like, changed content. It'll be the same amount as, like, Persona 3 FES, or FES, or however you say it, and or Portable. It's not going to be the same as what's in there, but it's going to be, like, comparable. Is my initial, like, assumption. Like, it's just going to have, like, a different version of more content than the original. And I don't know if I'll get it. I'm not a big Persona guy. I do like this, like the games and the series, but I usually never play, you know, right at launch. I picked up Persona 5 like quite a bit later. What the heck?